It is Tuesday, guys. Welcome to Such an Easy Life. A little bit of the warning for you. It is Tuesday. I'm just on the way into my mum's. She wants to go up to Antrim today, which is like the next town over. So it's in and out the old disabled vehicle, which is a bit of a struggle, it has to be said. So I have to get her in it in the house, then we get up there and I have to get her out of it, and then we'll have to get her back in it, and then when we get back down I have to get her back, and it's a lot. It's not an easy task because it's such an old vehicle. Look at all the cars over there. So many of these houses have people living in them. They're bought and people, there's that dog. Last week we had, is he walking down the middle of the road? No. Last week we had a lovely week's weather. Now I'm not saying it was like, you know, sun splitting the stones or anything, but it was no coat weather, which is my favourite type of weather. It's just warm enough that you don't need a coat and it's pleasant, but not so warm that you're struggling, because I don't do well with heat. Because if you didn't know, this car's filthy, it needs a wash. Fibro means, for a lot of people that have it, that you don't regulate your body temperature properly, and some people run really cold like my dad, and I run really warm, meaning that if it gets really hot, you know, I'm kind of in danger of, like when I was in Florida I almost fainted in one of the parks, even though I stayed in the shade as much as I could. I drank water all day, I had cooling towels around my neck, I had a fan. It's still an issue. I get too warm. So last week was just lovely as far as I'm concerned. And this week is fucking freezing. It's 9 degrees. It feels colder, believe me. I'd got out of jumpers and into t-shirts, and now I've had to put my coat over my t-shirt because it's fucking freezing. But when I go shopping with my mum, I have to be careful not to put too much stuff on, because then you get overheated in the shops. That's interesting, isn't it? So Isaac is off school after tomorrow. He's off Thursday, Friday, and then all of next week for Easter. I think the schools on the mainland England and that have already been off. They get 2 weeks as far as I know, but they get shorter over the summer months than us. The kids in summer here get all of July and all of August. So they tend to go off on the last day of June, and then they go back in the first week of September. So we get a little bit less through the year than the schools in England, like, get 2 weeks. We should only really have the 1 week, but one of the days is parent-teacher meetings for one of the year groups, and the other day is, they call it a Becker Day, and it's something to do with teacher training. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm going to have to wash this car. I've asked Darren to wash the car, but he's ignored me. So I'm going to have to take it and wash it at some stage, because some birds lost its guts down the side of it. There's like this weird sandy type stuff all over it, and now there's a ton of dead insects against the windscreen, so it needs a wash. All the little lambs are out in the fields lying in this. Such cute little things. There's loads of black ones this year, and they're so cute, but I can't see where their parents, you know, where the like adult lambs. I says, well, why is all these lambs little black lambs when all the parents are white? Darren says there's some big black ram somewhere going, hey, with a big smile on his face. So that made me laugh. But they're so cute. Such cute little lambs. Yeah, so lovely weather all last week when the kids were at school, and now that they're going to be off, it's going to be shit. Fantastic. So Isaac is wanting to go to We Are Vertigo with Stephen. Isaac tends to morph into who he's hanging about with, because he kind of was like outgrown that sort of thing. And because Stephen, I've mentioned before, Stephen's quite young for his age, not in a bad way at all, but because Stephen fancies it, now Isaac wants to do it again. So I think we're going up there next week. It's an inflatable park, in case you didn't know, and then I think we're having Stephen to stay over some night. Yeah, so we shall see. Kira and Sophie. Kira is I say neighbour, she lives opposite me, and Sophie is her daughter, she'll be 4 soon, You maybe remember if you watch my vlogs, in December we went with her to see Santa. So they're coming over tomorrow afternoon for a little bit. So nothing much else to report. There's a guy in front of me on a motorbike. I use the word motorbike loosely. Is there two people on that bike? I can't really tell. He's sitting really upright. He's either got something in front of him on his knee that's big, or he's a pillion passenger. But oh no, I can see his foot going on the gears. Sped up a bit now. I thought we were going to be at 40 mile an hour the whole way in. Right, so I'll go, so there's no more waffle. I shall catch up with you guys later in the week. I had a brain fart there. I couldn't work out how to turn the music off. Right, let me start going and then I'll rant at you. Yes, I'm going to rant. Just pulling out of Tesco. Just had to go and pick up some stuff for Kira and Sophie coming tomorrow. Kira's on a very specific diet to do with, she's just got problems with her insides, and she's on like lactose-free milk, and the wee girl's on, for some reason, sugar-free apple and blackcurrant juice and rich tea light and raisins. I've never known a child not enjoy sweets or chocolate, but she doesn't. I wish I had a bit of that. But I'm afraid I love my nasties, my bad for my stuff. So, you ready for my rant today? Remember I tell you I get very little time without something kicking off to stress me out? Today, my mum says to me, your dad stopped taking his blood pressure tablets. And I'm like, what? Thinking hopefully she's imagining something. He says to me the other day, I've got a splitting headache, and she said to him, are you taking your tablets? And he said, no, I stopped taking them. I'm like, why have you stopped taking your tablets? I don't want to. I says, no, I says, that's not a reason. I says, why don't you want to? I don't like taking tablets. I says, you're gonna drop dead. I says, you'll have a heart attack or a stroke. That's my decision. I don't like taking tablets. I says, so if you were told you had cancer, would you say you didn't want chemo? Well, yeah, I wouldn't be having it. It'd be too late then anyway. I says, well, if it wasn't. He says, I've heard all this before and I'm sick of it and I'm not taking the tablets. So, can you imagine my frustration, guys? Which is very similar to Darren's right now. I don't blame him for a second. The amount of time that he spent up in hospitals, the amount of time we've spent on the phone, phoning people up and down to Belfast, up and down to Antrim, up and down to hospitals, up and down to respite, trying to sort my mum out. And my dad has decided he's not going to take his blood pressure medication because he doesn't want to. So I told him exactly what I thought of that, and I says, I'm saying nothing more about it. I says, but do me a favour. I says, book your funeral. I says, it'll save me the job. You maybe think that's a very nasty thing to say, but that's what I said. I said it's downright selfish. I said, you have the intellect of a toddler. I said, I've never heard anything so stupid in all my life. And I says, you clearly don't give a damn about any of the rest of us if your desire to just not want to completely does away with your care about anyone else's stress. And then my mum piped up, what about me? What about me? That's all she ever says. What about me? What about me? And then I says, right, let's talk about what about me, Mum. I says, what happens if you drop dead? Well, I'll be dead. I says, and you're leaving me with all this? And I shrugged. So what are you meant to do with that? Everything we've gone through since he come back from that holiday last year, and all those hospital visits, that operation, it's like he wants to die. What you should be doing as a responsible person is getting my mum sorted into a residential home, which is what she needs. He won't hear of it, so I can't do anything about it. So what he's going to do is, if he does have a stroke, which will happen, if with his blood pressure started with the headaches again because he won't take the tablets, I says, you might not die. I says, you might end up in a wheelchair, unable to speak, dribbling, because my dad would hate the idea of being dependent on other people. I says, you'll end up like a a vegetable sat dribbling and drooling in a wheelchair. I says, and then there'll be the two of you. I says, you can go into a matching care home. There's a ton of traffic ahead of me, I don't know why. But it's so frustrating because I've said this before and it's going to sound so horrible, and I know other people have lost their parents and they say, well, I wish I still had mine. When people lose their parents, other than a little bit of stuff here and there that they do, they don't have the stress of everything that's going to come for me. I wish I just had grief to deal with. I wish that's all I had to deal with, and the normal clearing of houses and stuff that people do. But my mum, when anything major happened, my mum goes off the scale mental wise with nothing happening. When my granny died and my granda, my mum's parents, she was in and out mental hospitals for 8 to 10 years. She tried to kill herself multiple times. What the hell is she going to be like when, I'll not say if, when something happens to my dad? And my mum's health is so bad, but it's not bad in the sense of, you know, she's going to die. Her organs are healthy and she eats well, all that stuff. She's MS is pretty bad, but my mum could be this way for another 10 or 15 years easily. And my dad, I don't think will make it to the end of this year with the way things are going right now. He's also drinking every night, which is helpful for your blood pressure. He has been. I've just ignored it because we've had that fight for years, no point. So I've come to the conclusion now that the only thing I can do is switch off and let him do whatever the hell he wants, and then have to pick the pieces up when the inevitable happens. But my mum has this naive idea that she will never be in a care home, and she is at a stage where every single person I know, apart from her social worker, says that she would benefit from being in a care home for the company, for the activities. Not only that, the level of care that she requires at this stage would benefit from a care home. But my dad won't hear of it. She is like head in sand, I don't need to do that. But everyone round me, mum's dropping like flies because she will not accept that she needs to be in a care home, and my dad will not put her in one. He won't even broach the subject. So that's been left for me to do, which I think is hideously unfair, because then I'm going to look like the arsehole. It's like the minute anything happens to my dad. And the thing is, you can't just, people think you can get a care home just like that. You can't. So I will be stuck in at my mum's 24/7 caring, which is, I can't even tell you how difficult it is, because my mum has started with dementia and it's so hard. And there's never a moment that she just has you get up and down and up and down and up and down and up and all day, just constantly. And when you have pains, it's, you know, when you say to her you can't, you get accused of not caring, and you know, you can't switch off from it because she literally doesn't let you, and you can't walk away from it because she needs so much care. She needs a person there at all times. So you can't just take a walk and clear your head or anything like that, which is why she needs to, you know. But I'm preaching to the converted, because I know you guys all say you need to take a step back, but how are you supposed to take a step back when you're an only child and every time you go in they can't cope with anything on their own? Are you supposed to say, well actually no, I'm not doing that for you because I'm taking a step back? You can't. You literally can't do that. If it's your parents, it's like having a kid, you know, you have to, if they're not capable of doing things for themselves, you have to do things for them. But this thing with my dad, I don't want to. I could fucking strangle him. I swear to God, I could strangle him. I don't know if he thinks he's doing the big, you know, being a carer or whatever, but he's not. You know, he's not helping anyone. The hardest thing to do, the braver thing to do, would be getting my mum into residential care for his sake, for her sake, and for my sake. And I can't, as a parent, get my head around anybody not putting their kid first. It's like, there is a chance that I could end up with MS. I didn't realise that it is hereditary. It doesn't mean you're going to get it, of course it doesn't, but if a parent has it, you have a higher likelihood. There's people being diagnosed with it in their 50s and 60s at all times. My dad's brother had it, so I have it in both bloodlines. And a lot of people are finding that they're being diagnosed late with MS because they've been misdiagnosed with fibromyalgia for years. A woman said the only reason they found it with her is because her eyesight started to go so bad. I can't read anything at the minute in low light. It's it's got ridiculous, and it's like, is that normal getting older? My eyesight is shocking. Like trying to read anything. My long distance is fine, but you know, there's that little nagging thing at the back of my head. My mum's had MS, my uncle had MS, 2 different bloodlines. I've had fibromyalgia since my 20s. Is there any chance that perhaps I don't have fibromyalgia? I don't know. But I can't even imagine, the point of me bringing that up was, if I was to end up pretty disabled and needing help, not for a second would I want Isaac being my carer. Not for a second. I'd want to be in somewhere and with him coming to see me when he wanted to come and visit me, so that I'd still be his mum. I wouldn't be like a dependent on him, because I know what it's like. I've had it since my age was in single figures. It's difficult, but sometimes I just feel, and it's horrible to say this, sometimes I feel that my parents are just utterly selfish, because all they do is think about their needs, and they don't ever think that anything affects me, because I'm not there 24/7. And I've told them how stressed I get, and I've told them that I think my mum should be in somewhere. I've told them why. I've said I feel it would benefit her, and I've said to my mum, how the hell, I was blunt today, I said, how am I supposed to cope with my dad dying, having to organise a funeral, having to deal with a house, having to deal with all the finances, and you falling to bits around me? How am I meant to deal with that? I said, my dad can't go out of the house for longer than 5 or 10 minutes. Like, he walks up to the paper shop and down, or the butcher's, and that's it. I said, you cannot be left. How am I supposed to cope with all that? Stop having a go at me, it's not my fault. It's not possible, but there isn't a magic wand that will take my mum and put her somewhere if anything happens to my dad, so I can deal with stuff. That doesn't exist. People seem to think that exists. It doesn't. I'll just get a phone call. Right, you'll have to come in and be with your mum, your dad's dead. And that's what I'm expecting before this year's out. But I'm just going to have to deal with it, because I'll tell you what, to be honest, it's probably going to be easier to deal with over a course of a few months than the last 10 years that I've had. Constant fucking stress. Constant. I'm just angry right now. I'm really fucking angry. I just wish, if any of you have any tips on how to switch your brain off from stressing about stuff that you know there's no point in stressing about because it's not going to change anything. I know me constantly worrying about what happens if this, what happens if that, what happens, you blah blah. There's no point me worrying about it, because it's not going to change the outcome either way. How do I switch that off? I need that CBT, cognitive behavioural therapy. I could do a bit of that to retrain my brain, because I'm just a stress head. And the reason I'm a stress head is because no one else in my life is a stress head. I constantly worry because no one else does. So when something happens, everyone else is really shocked that this could have possibly happened. Even when I've been telling them for fucking years, this is going to happen. And it's like a tick box exercise. All the things I told my parents would happen have all happened. Well, I never thought it would happen. Well, did I tell you it would happen? Well, yes. So that's why I'm such a worrier, because I feel like I'm worrying for multiple people. Right, I finished. There's no fucking point. I'm just scunnered. I'm fed up. I just want a break. I should go in and announce, right, I'm moving to England to give my head a fucking holiday. Since my dad is so able to cope so implicitly by himself. But I know I can't. I would like to. I'll be honest with you. I would like to. I don't even know if I'd ever be able to afford to move back to England, because it's so much more expensive than here. But I just feel I've got no freedom to do anything, go anywhere. You know, it's... I wonder what my blood pressure's like. I dread to fucking think. I just feel like there's always something to worry about. And I want to be able to switch off and not worry about it, but every time I go in, there's something else. Every time I go in, they're wanting me to do something else. There's an issue with something else. Like my mum's had my dad call the doctor because she's now decided, but like a month ago it was her anxiety was really bad, so we had to get her Valium upped. Diazepam, I think is what they call it now. They used to call it Valium. So now she's decided that she can't enjoy anything anymore. She needs tablets because she's just not enjoying anything. And my dad called the doctor yesterday, and because my dad can't get up early in the morning because of the fibro issue, and my mum obviously can't, she can't even use the phone, the doctor's receptionist said, nope, you're going to have to call back at 8:30 in the morning, like they say to everyone. So now the situation is, well, they're just not going to bother. Rather than get your arse up at 8:30 in the morning for one day, go back to bed after you've made the phone call. He's now decided, right, well, I can't get up at 8:30, so we'll just not bother. To me, that is not being a responsible carer. You have to do what you have to do, but again, they're expecting me to do that, and you know what? I'm not fucking doing it. Because there's certain things I'm going to take a step back from, and that sort of thing's one of them. Because they just constantly expect me to do everything, and when it comes to caring about me, and when I say caring about me, I don't mean me or my health or my life or my stresses, because that just never comes up, because that's not important at all. When I say caring about me, I mean trying to take the load off by looking after my dad's own health, by taking the tablets even though he doesn't want to, because he knows it'll keep my mind at ease and it's more of a chance of him being here. You know, I feel like they'll do jack shit for me but expect me to do everything for them, and it's like, it's not a fair balance. Fuck, I'm really cross, you probably can tell, and I'm probably sounding like a complete bitch right now, but the last thing I want to do is go in and start again and Darren have to listen to it all, so I'm trying to get it out before I get home, and I could fucking cry right now. I'm so fucking, you know, when you can't get a person to do something that you know they need to do, and you know everything's gonna go to shit, but it's not something, you can't walk away from your parents, you can't step back from your parents, you can't do less for your parents, you know, you just can't as a daughter. It's especially when there's no one else there, and especially not if you know that you don't do the stuff that you're going to do, that one or other of them will end up dead. But I can't force my dad to take tablets, and the doctor keeps phoning at times in the morning when he's not out of bed, and even if they do phone, he just ignores what they're saying to him. Just, he's not interested. And if you try and tell him, you will die. I've heard all this before. What are you meant to do? Right, I need to fucking stop now because I'm almost home. Tell you what I did, I bought myself a bar of chocolate like a fucker. It's there. And I meant to eat that on the way home to get me reg right. That's what I do when I'm stressed, I eat. But I've done that much ranting and raving about you, I'm almost home and I'm not going to get time to eat my bar of chocolate. So my cheat is going to be discovered. Not that Darren gives a damn why, he doesn't care, but you know, I'm sure he thinks every time I try to lose weight, oh well, that'll last a few months and then she'll be back to scranning the chocolate and Chineses again. He's probably not wrong. No, I'm absolutely determined this time to keep my weight at a healthy level. I need to get in about another 2 stone off, and you know, still at that, my BMI will still be overweight. It's obese now. I'm obese right now. If I could get into the overweight category, I'd be alright. But see, if I was in that category, that's fine. The last time I was that weight, I was a teenager. And I was a very skinny teenager. So BMIs, I thought Granny Mary, BMIs as far as I'm concerned is utter bollocks. Right. That is Granny Mary. I wonder why she's parked there. Right. There's my neighbour pulling in. And I'm still recording myself. I'm sure I look like an egotist. Right guys, thank you for listening to me ranting and raving. I really didn't mean to rant and rave the whole way home, but I'm trying to save Darren having to listen to me, to be honest. I shall catch up with you later in the week when I've finished fucking ranting about this. I shall speak to you later. Apologies that this is really bad quality. Isaac has just come home from school sick, and he's still... This is a box of Easter goodies from Kelly and Dave, full of awesome stuff. The light's behind his head, so it's really, really bad footage.
Colin the caterpillar. Who is, bro?
You've got cream eggs as well.
Yeah.
Oh, look.
Yeah, there's also
Oh, Lindt chocolate bars. I didn't even know they existed.
Watch me get the Wear one, which gives you 10 grand.
Where's the... Oh. Look at it. How cute is that?
Right, how do I do this?
Is that the one from... Is that Kevin from the advert?
What?
Kevin the carrot?
Maybe.
It looks like him. Darren's not looking at me.
Okay, how do I do this?
Right, Isaac's reading about... He says it's something about Mr. Beast. I've no idea. Kelly and Dave are obviously cooler than me. I've no idea about these things. Look at all these sweets and chocolates and... Where's that big packet of sweets? There's still stuff in the box.
It's a big box that's this.
Look at them sweets. Oh. Easter eggs and what are these? Eggs, sizzlers, mini eggs, marshmallows, cream eggs. Oh, a white cream egg, 2 caramel eggs and 2 classics. There's 5 in there. And Percy Pigs. Look at all these. Caramel egg and Lego minifigs. Isaac's still working with that.
I'm very smart.
And what are these? Crispy bunnies.
I'm really loving.
There's a pop thing down there.
There's a Deadpool one.
He'll be into that now. We've told him he's not eating sweets because if he's coming home from school sick and he's got the shits, he's not going into sweets today.
I need water, I need to go to a tap.
I've had to cancel Kira and Sophie coming over, and they haven't been over in about 6 months.
I'll be back, I need to go to a tap.
Look at all this. Oh, so what do you say, Isaac, before you go to the tap?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kelly and Dave. Look at all these. Ridiculous. And there's me on a diet, has to say.
Where's my picking box?
Where's Kelly's box? Where's Dave's box?
It's in the post.
No, it's not.
Hope it's not got
That's
lost.
Alice's box.
Oh, it's different. That's Alice's box.
Well, here's Molly.
Molly's upset because I sent her out in rain.
Yeah, Molly got sent out for a wee in the rain. She's not very happy about it.
Poor Molly.
There's somebody walking about out there, Anna.
Another delivery guy. She'll go back when she's seeing you.
Right, I'll switch you off again. I just wanted to look at this. Look, I'll put these all in this box in a minute. But what you see, I'm trying to get some of. He's going to want to eat that.
Pretty much better.
Yeah.
I think maybe if I just try the little bit, I'll be alright.
Yeah.
Fuck off, that's what you say to him.
Oh, they're popping candies, those. We should have opened it in secret before he got in and taken stuff out and says, oh, because there's still loads.
Replaced it with some pens and pencils and a ruler.
Right,
Homework.
I'm going to switch this off. I can't believe I've had to cancel them coming over, and they're going to think I'm doing it on purpose because it's literally the last time I did anything with them was the first week of December. This is now April, and I've had to cancel it. They'll think I'm doing it on purpose. Right, Molly has seen the Prime guy. Not coming to our house, like, but
It's the van she's seeing, she knows what the van is.
look at her face. Look at that aggression.
Aggression. Very pretty
I'd love to know why my phone does that when I zoom in and out. It gets really bad quality when you zoom too far in. Right. I shall speak to you later. Hello. Just been getting washed. You can tell from my shiny face and lack of makeup. Just checking in. It is... Oh, people don't like this noise, do they? We combing my horrible hair. It is Wednesday. Isaac finished school for Easter today. He's off Thursday, Friday and all of next week. And guess what? We had to go get him because he went to the sick bay sick. It transpired he needed a poo. he came out and he said to Darren, oh, I really need to go to the toilet. And Darren says, you better not have had us come in for you because you need a shit. He came home, he went to the toilet. Now he said it was runs, it was liquid. It may have been, I don't know, I did not check. But he's been fine ever since. So he basically got out half day because he needed a shit. He held it to the point that he made himself nauseous and sick and his stomach hurt. He came home, he had a shit, he was fine. And I had to cancel Kira and Sophie coming over because I didn't know that he was going to be fine. They were due to come over and she has got a very, very delicate immune system. So much so she's on a food map diet, which basically means everything is cut out to try and work out what is the weight has fallen off Kira. She is so thin. And obviously Sophie is she's coming 4 soon. So if he had a stomach bug, the last thing we could have is them coming into the house. So I had to err on the side of caution and cancel. I haven't done anything with her since December. I'm feeling like it's because I've been busy with my parents. I'm trying not to think about that. I'm still fucking angry at my dad. I'm still angry. No, I'm not even going to start. I just have to, what do they say, suck it and see. Just wait and see what happens. So today, Suze had uploaded a new vlog of Blackpool Pleasure Beach, which was really good. I really enjoyed that. I haven't commented yet, but I will get to it. I watch pretty much all of my YouTube on the big TV downstairs. Apart from like movie reviews, what I'll do is when I'm gaming on an evening occasionally, I don't do it that much now, I will listen to movie reviews, but obviously vlogs you need to watch. So I watched that this afternoon and it was good. They went on Valhalla, which was my favourite ride. There's a new ride at Blackpool Pleasure Beach based on Wallace and Gromit, which looks amazing. It looks really, really good. I've only been to Blackpool Pleasure Beach once and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, that was nice to watch. It passed some time. Done some housework. Blah, 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 blah. And yeah, I don't know what we're going to do over the holidays. I think we're having Stephen over twice at least anyway. I want to go over some maths with Isaac. He'll be delighted about that. But I want to plan to do something one of the days to go somewhere, but I don't know what or where. But I find if I make plans, something happens. So I'm trying to like not make major plans too far in the future. I love the colour of these. These, and I've got awful nails. My nails never grow. These are nail wraps, and you probably can't see, but that's not the finger to show you like, but they're shiny, they're glittery. These are really cheap. I have never painted my nails since I discovered nail wraps because they will stay on my nails for like 3 weeks. And the only time you need to take them off is when they physically grow out. But they're really, really good. You can scrub your hair with them, everything. Although gardening is not good. Even if you put gardening gloves on, your fingertips sweat, and then when you take the gardening gloves off, they can come off. But other than that, I've been fine washing my hair, showering, all that stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna go to bed. I've just watched the first episode of The Last of Us Season 2, which was really good. I'm really surprised at the casting of the character Abby. What's her name? I really, really like Caitlin Dever. I love the actress. I think she's fabulous, but I think it's odd casting for if you've played the game of Abby. Now, I'm in the minority of preferring The Last of Us 2 game to the first, purely because if you don't play the game, it's not a major spoiler, everyone knows this. Halfway through the game, you switch and you have to play Abby instead of Ellie. But Abby is like Ellie's enemy, and initially you're really annoyed about it. You're like, I don't fucking want to play with this character. And no. And you're like, well, I was like, no. And everyone was really, really annoyed about it. But in playing with them, you get a better understanding of the character, and you realise how similar Ellie and Abby are, but they're on different sides of this conflict. And I ended up loving it. And a game that can completely turn you on your head, going from this is shit, I really don't like this, to actually, I've really enjoyed this. And you do obviously go back to Ellie in the game, but I love that aspect because it really caught me by surprise. But a lot of other die-hard Last of Us players never forgave the fact that you have to play as Abby and hated it, and just hated the game entirely. when I loved it personally. So I'm stoked to see Caitlin Dever because I think she's fabulous, but I think she would have made a better Ellie than Abby, personally. But we shall see. Yeah, first episode's looking good. I wish the people that made that would do Red Dead because the attention to detail on the sets is impeccable. It just looks plucked straight out of the game. It looks fabulous. So I'll enjoy watching that. We watched a film called Humanist Vampire Seeks Consenting Suicidal Adult. That's the name of a film, folks. It was alright, it was okay, it was interesting. It's like a vampire comedy type thing, a horror comedy about a female vampire that is a humanist. She doesn't want to kill people, so she has to try and find a suicidal human to help her basically feed. And that's the premise, and it's like a comedy horror. It was just alright. There's nothing coming to the cinema in the next couple of weeks I can think of we're desperate to see. My next big looking forward to movies are Final Destination, and I've told you I watched 2 vlogs, Kelly's and Suze's, and in the last month Suze was driving behind one of those big lorries with the tree trunks on it, and a couple of weeks before Kelly had been in Texas, and it's like the youth of today will never know the fear of driving behind one of these big trucks with a tree trunks on it like Final Destination. So it's funny. You can't see one and not think it if you're of a certain age. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Final Destination because I love the inventiveness of the kills in that. I think they're really funny. And what's the other one? It's another horror coming out. What is it? Ah, shit. I saw it advertised tonight and I was thinking, oh, I'll look forward to that. I can't remember what it is. It's another horror. It's not coming to me. They've shelved Saw. I'm livid. I was looking forward to that, even though it might not be great, I don't care. But they're not doing the new Saw movie, they've just dropped it. I'm still trying to remember the name of the other horror. It's not coming to me. It's a big one though. It's a big franchise horror. No, it's not coming to me. But the new Jurassic Park, well, I don't know what it's called, the new Jurassic movie will be coming out soon, so I'm looking forward to that. But nothing on the horizon anytime soon. Yeah. Right, I'll go to my bed and I'll check in with you guys later in the week. Hello, it is Saturday. And it's a crappy day and it's raining. We're just heading into town, stopping to get petrol on the way. Isaac's meeting up with Stephen in town for a bit and then he's coming back to ours for the night. Me and Darren are going to go to the cinema later on to see a movie called Sinners, which is getting a lot of buzz. Everyone's saying it's really good. So,
oh, nice.
It's 18 though, so you wouldn't be able to get in to see it.
I can pass it.
Isaac, you cannot pass for 18.
If I wear a mask, yes I can.
So that is what's happening today. I have to pick up something for my mum for Halloween. She doesn't really... Halloween. Easter. She doesn't really a lot of chocolate. Well, like if she's been bought chocolates, like boxes of chocolates and Easter eggs, and they basically sit in the house until they've like gone off. So I'm looking for maybe, you know, like a little plant or sort of floral thing. So I'll have a look for that. Oh no, I've forgotten my... Bloody hell. I've forgotten my Christmas money to put in the bank. See, that's me getting stuff and I need to like then put the money in to replace what... Oh well, I'll do it another time. I have to go get petrol.
Tesco's got 13 miles.
Tesco's is going to be too busy on a Saturday trying to go in and get petrol in there. It's going to be a nightmare. Yeah, so I'll switch you off, that's what's happening. If there's anything of any interest, I'll switch you back on again, but I don't really like filming in shops because people look at you like you're mad. It's not the done thing over here. You don't really get vloggers filming stuff. The only time you see people with cameras is, are they going to come out? Is when you get tourists around, you know, like the dark hedges and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Why would you ever want to go on holiday here?
scenery, Isaac. A lot of people want to get away from the city environment. They filmed Game of Thrones here, so there's loads of sets and locations and stuff. Right, I'm going to go. I shall check in with you later. Hello. Saturday night, I'm in bed. Gonna watch some telly. Just been to the cinema to see Sinners, which is fabulous. I'll be putting a review of it up on my main channel if you want to find out more about it. If you know nothing about it, go see it knowing nothing, because if you manage to go see that without knowing a little bit of a twist, it would be awesome. Stephen's here, so him and Isaac are sleeping on a sofa each in the living room. Darren is still downstairs to the grim death. He's like, I'm not on a schedule, I'm not going to bed. So I'm in bed waiting for him so they can go down and get a sofa each and watch some crap films. So yeah, Easter Sunday tomorrow. I shall check in on the drive into my mum's to close off the vlog for the week. Hello, it is Sunday. I'm here to close off the vlog. I think I mentioned last night we went to see Sinners. It's very good, we both enjoyed it. I've just dropped Stephen off at home, and we're on the way into my mum's. It's Easter Sunday. I've remembered my laptop today to transfer over some films for my dad onto his hard drive, including the Banshees of Inisherin, which I know he will enjoy, hasn't seen yet, but I thought that was added to Netflix. It was added to something, or was it on ITV one night? Whatever it was, he didn't get to see it, so I've brought that in. But nothing else of any note to tell you. I hope you've all had a nice Easter and had lots of nice chocolate. I shall catch up with you next week. This is wobbling all sorts. Apologies, these are like the road's not very flat.
There's Digby again.
It's a big pug. Darren says it needs to be called Digby because it's the biggest pug in the world. It is a big pug.
Big pug. Big bear. Big bear.
Big B.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, Kira and Sophie are coming over. That's my neighbour across the way, because they were meant to come over on Wednesday, but Isaac was sick and I didn't want a chance in case there was a bug.
We might just get rid of the stink out of the living room before they come.
And must take that after you.
Muck mid in there with them two in
I forgot what I was going to say. Tuesday is my mum's shopping day. Wednesday we're going up to We Are Vertigo. I'm sure there's something on Friday which my mind's not telling me what it is at the minute, but there's no scouts for a couple of weeks, so he's off again and no jiu-jitsu this week either. He's got his guitar lesson tomorrow, but that's the only like official thing this week. So I shall catch up with you next week. Thank you for watching this week, and I shall link the review to Sinners at the end of this vlog if you want to check it out. Over and out.